We shall.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to podcast number one of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And yeah, we're super excited. This is our first one. I can't believe it's taken this long for us to actually get this going.
Yeah, it's taken it. Well, that just means a lot of proper planning went into it.
Sure. Proper planning. That is us. Those of you who know us, proper planning is definitely what we do.
Yeah, totally sums us up in a nutshell.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm super excited. So let's get into it, I guess. Let's talk about the reason why we're doing this. Why have we started this?
Well, maybe I'll start with myself because I know how to talk about her. I know how to talk about other people too. Ask anyone. I'm just joking. I started this. I have been on kind of a lifelong journey with my weight. Ever since I was a kid, I was always really a tall kid, so that meant I was also sized appropriately to go with being tall. I ended up leveling out when I was in grade 5 at about 5'7", which was tall for grade 5 and pretty average for right now. So I'll flash forward to this Christmas. I'd had previous ups and downs with weight and fitness and all of those things, but it hit kind of a critical mass, so to speak, at the, Christmas time. And to the point where my mom had a conversation with me about maybe getting on a list for bariatric surgery. I wasn't really happy to hear that conversation, wasn't overly receptive to it. And I said, why on Christmas Eve? But ultimately, it was probably the best thing I could have heard because at the time, I couldn't walk for a block without my back literally feeling like it was going to seize up. And that was problematic since I'm not even 40 yet. And so, after thinking and pondering for a couple of days, trying to figure out what my next steps were, I decided that I was going to set a goal to lose 40 pounds before I turned 40. And I turned 40 in March. Which maybe when you hear this podcast, who knows? We'll see how this all goes. So I kind of started my fitness journey then, and then I was talking to Isaiah about it. I'll let him fill in that gap. But in the interim, I had started a fitness regimen and a food regimen, and that's where I'm at today. So Isaiah, what about you? What brings you to here to this point?
Well, first and foremost, I've wanted to do a podcast with you for a very long time, and we'll get into that, how we met and all that stuff. But yeah, kind of along the same vein, I was used to be in high school, like the gym guy. Played sports, lots of football, lots of rugby, kind of in shape, still kind of big, but in shape. And then, life, and, continually eating the same junk that I ate when I was in high school, which doesn't work out as you get older. And then I do my beer reviews, which catch up to you. And so that's kind of, I started going to the gym, and I felt like it was a good opportunity for us to talk and tell our story and let people know what's going on in our lives, and kind of a nice little check-in for us to kind of be like, hey, where are you at today?
Yeah, and so far so good. And Isaiah, I'll tell you, I don't think I've told you this, but my original goal of 40 pounds before 40, I hit about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's super exciting. I haven't seen you in like a long time now. Yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah, so when we initially had spoken about this, it was New Year's Eve. I think you originally brought it up on New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Neither of us were sober, I can assure you. And that was evidenced when Isaiah's sweet wife drove. Well, she drove him home, of course, but she also delivered me in the process, and it was pouring rain, and I managed to wedge myself out of their car and lose a shoe, and I was hopping around my street trying to find my shoe. Anyway, it all sorted itself out, but this podcast idea was born.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited, and we've been planning it for a very long time, and then I went away, and what else? There was storm. And I traveled, and I traveled more. So yeah, super excited that we finally got a chance to get into this and kind of start this off. And I hope that people enjoy us being witty together.
Yeah. Well, how has your fitness journey been going? Because like you said, you have been on quite a bit of work travel. And how did you keep up with fitness during that time?
I was a terrible, terrible boy. I ate delicious foods from all over the place. but I did not necessarily keep up with my journey of being fit. However, I did walk a whole bunch, so hopefully that kind of balances out. I have not weighed myself since I started traveling like a month ago. So I'm kind of terrified. Monday, I go start back to the gym on my journey, so we'll see what I weigh in on Monday.
Yeah, sometimes a scary thing, but life really is about balance. And what I know about myself is that I can really hunker down for a couple of months and set a goal. And I'm actually in kind of a precarious situation right now where I'm like, I feel so good and I'm going to the gym and my back doesn't hurt anymore. So maybe I should go for a drink. Oh, maybe I should have some food. Delicious. Let's go out to eat. And so I'm in that mode right now where I'm in pure fun mode, which is not the best for a journey, which is a great time to start this podcast.
That's true. Yes. Maybe a little bit of keeping us honest a little bit more. Yeah. No, definitely. When you hit that goal, right? It's like, oh, I hit my goal. I can kind of back off, but that's when you slide back, right?
But I can't, because truthfully, if I'm being honest, I probably have another 150 pounds to go. If I'm being honest about what you see here in front of you.
So no, it's super exciting that you hit that your goal. So do you have another goal in mind coming forward? Or right now are you just kind of thinking about what you're gonna do?
Oh, right now I'm kind of in coast mode until my birthday. Because it's the big 4-0.
Fun.
It's gonna be a great time. Have a little party we can get into how we met, but at the bar in which Isaiah and I met. And yeah, it'll be a fun time. That'll be great. And I think from a weight loss perspective, because I have lost so much weight so quickly, and it's probably good to level out a bit and kind of force a plateau. So then the next deep dive post birthday, we'll have a bit of a running start. Not that I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to stay where I'm at or lose a little bit more, but not at the rate I have been losing.
Yeah. And then that rate is kind of unsustainable to begin with.
Yeah.
As far as staying healthy, right? It's just but no, it's definitely when we hit your 40th birthday, then we can revisit, see where we're at. I know my goal for myself is I am currently, last weigh-in I was at 310, and my goal is not too extreme. I want to hit 250 by the end of the year.
That's amazing.
So it's still a work in progress, but it's not like an extreme goal to hit, which is always great if you kind of measure yourself and kind of work your way through it, right?
So for me, I actually, truth be known, I don't know what my starting weight was, because the scale I weighed myself on maxed out, because like I said, I really was at a critical point, and the weight that the scale would have maxed out on was 440. So I would wager a guess that I was at least 445, which, when I think of that weight, I think of being airlifted out of my house with a crane kind of situation. So really scary stuff. And my last 2 weigh-in days happened to be storm days. So like Isaiah, I also haven't weighed in the last couple of weeks. But my last weigh-in, I was down to 402.8 or something, which is just
that's insane,
incredible. But it's still over 400 pounds, which is just wild.
Yeah, but you gotta give yourself credit though too, right? That 4, coming down to that 4, that's amazing.
Yeah,
especially in the time frame. What is it, 2 months?
Yeah, just shy of 2 months.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, and it certainly wasn't the intent to lose that rapidly, because there are people. I'll mention I do have a TikTok page. Follow me on TikTok. It's at Fat Caitlin, which is FATKATELIN, where I've kind of kept myself accountable to a growing number of fans. Thanks, 20 of you. No, I'm just joking. It is growing steadily enough without putting much effort into it, but it is kind of a fun thing to do post workout and post weight loss. But a couple of people asking some wild questions, as keyboard warriors sometimes do. One, I have a bit of an eyebrow thing where I just overplucked in the 90s, like as one did, and somebody was like, "Do you have thyroid issues? Because your eyebrows there gone missing." Which has actually prompted me to start to see an esthetician about tinting them just because I was like, oh, I already picked myself apart about other things. I guess now I have to worry about this too.
Those keyboard medics, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's a doctor online. I found that that's kind of a thing that happens, and the more and more people that get on there, definitely.
Oh yeah, but I mean, engagement is engagement. So cool. Keep it coming.
100%. No.
Dr. Keyboard.
Awesome. Yeah. No, and I'm doing my reviews too, so that kind of keeps me on TikTok too. But I've been really enjoying your TikToks while I've been away and traveling the world.
Yeah, your TikTok, you should mention it because it's a great page to follow. Is that Maritime Brew?
Yeah, I do. So like I said before, I do the beer reviews. So it's at Maritime Brews, and I do beer reviews mostly of Atlantic Canada beers, but I've kind of dipped into the U.S. as I've traveled to kind of add variety. But yeah, mostly maritime Atlantic Canada stuff.
Nice. Yeah. Now, I think it's a good time to move on to how we met. Do you remember when we first met?
Goodness. So I think the first so we met at our favorite bar, Big Tide.
Big Tide Brewing.
And I think the first time we met had to be when me and Nigel were there, and you were telling Nigel that you knew his name, but he didn't know your name. And that was very upsetting. And you would not tell him your name.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, in fairness to me, I wasn't just being a jerk. It was probably hey, it was the 6th time I met Nigel. And the first couple were months and months apart. His best friend, Nigel. This show has now become about Nigel Wiles, which he loves.
Nigel Wiles show.
The Nigel is sitting here listening to this.
There's 100% chance he is going to be a guest star at some point.
Yeah, just to tell us how great we are. Just kidding. He'll tell us how great he is. I had met him a half a dozen times, and by the time I met him the 6th time, where we had and not just met him, we had very interesting conversations about life in Woodstock, New Brunswick, where we both lived, but we didn't cross paths. But we have a bunch of mutual friends here, and St. John, where we have a bunch of mutual friends. We went to the same university where we have a bunch of mutual friends. We've had like really in-depth conversations, and it had been like meaningful conversations to at least one of us. And so, yeah, I wasn't going to reveal my name the 6th time.
Yes, I do remember that. That was during one of our bro nights.
Yeah. But then I think the time that I really remember meeting you is our favorite bar, Big Time Brewing, had given me 2 tickets to see Rufus Wainwright at the Imperial Theater, and had also given Nigel and Isaiah tickets to see Rufus Wainwright at the Imperial Theater, sit in the cool box section.
Yeah, it was fun.
And it was a great show, really mellow. I can say that Isaiah and Nigel were not the soberest of bunch.
Not even close. First off, we didn't know who we were going to. We just kept saying, "Who's going to see Baker Mayfield?" who is a quarterback in the NFL. Well, was a quarterback in the NFL. And so we were just joking about seeing Baker Mayfield the whole time. And we definitely were not the soberest people. And I almost fell asleep to the rhythmic drumming of the guitar that I was just staring at.
Yeah, because you're so close. Well, and you're like in that venue, in that spot, you're just so close to the stage that Rufus Wainwright, who is a brilliant musician, and he does like an incredible cover of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah that was in Shrek, if I'm not mistaken. It was Rufus Wainwright's version in Shrek. If we're bringing it all, I could be wrong. Correct me, keyboard warriors, if I'm wrong about this.
Comment
below. No. And so Rufus Wainwright is looking at Isaiah falling asleep, and I'm sitting there like, who is this guy? Why am I here? I am not with them. Yeah. But then a lifelong friendship was born.
It's true. Yeah. Me and Nigel pieced out like halfway through. Yeah. No, I remember that was fun. That was a good night. Yeah. And then we just started talking every time we were at Big Tide, because we spend a lot of time there. It is like a second home.
Yeah, to both of us. Yeah. No, it's a good time. Which, and I will say too, being on this weight loss journey, one of the things I do at Big Tide is I host trivia there. And for the first month and a half of this, I just cut out booze entirely because it was just one of those things that calorically just a responsible thing to cut in the short term for me. And also it helps with the decision making of like, am I really hungry after 9 o'clock, or I'm only awake because I've been had 4 beer, 6 beer, 10 beer, whatever it may be. And then I obviously need matzo sticks. So, but I will say the menu has been quite accommodating to me. Like the menu that exists, get garden salad chicken. It's delicious.
Yeah, no, I do like their garden salad chicken. Yeah, I'm a big club sandwich fan.
Yeah.
So many carbs.
It's just remove one slice of bread. You'd save so many.
Then it's not a club. Then it's just a sandwich.
Fair enough.
Honestly, they don't cut it into 4, which I think is only half a club. It should be cut into 4 with the toothpicks, because that's what really makes it a club sandwich.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Do you ever add things to your club?
No, do you?
Yeah, I add pickles and cheddar.
I don't like pickles. Cheddar, though.
You don't like pickles?
Yeah, I don't
They're
like pickles.
delicious.
Some folks don't. Pickles are not good. So, children that are watching this, the children,
the kids,
the kids, pickles. Don't worry about it. Leave the pickles alone. There are so many things that could go with that one. So yeah, no, and then we had talked about doing a podcast for a long time. We kept kind of bringing it up, doing a like what's going on kind of podcast. So
yeah, no, we had, and because we talk about current events. I'm a former journalist, and Isaiah is an all around good guy, interested in lots of different things, and really smart and fun to talk to. That we would have these great conversations, be like, we should make this a podcast, and then we'd still say it when we were sober. So that's
true. So now we have a podcast. I'm very excited for doing this. I need to say that again.
Yeah, me too. I really am looking forward to how it progresses and checking in and stuff, but also to make it to talk about things that are not just like, well, today I ate chicken and that was good for me.
Yeah,
but also talk about what it is like getting through the world as a large person, and also what's happening in the world.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah.
No. So I definitely want. That's definitely another part of this. Is we're going to talk about like what is going on in the world and how we exist in this world, which is going to be fun. And the fact that you don't need to like go to extreme lengths to lose weight. It's about you know, just understanding what you're eating more than anything. You can eat whatever you want, just understand what you're eating, right?
Yeah, a lot of it's about portion control, but not just portion control, making sure you're filling your body with the right fuel to sustain your life. So for me, while I'm working out and stuff, and I don't work out super heavily, I go to Afterburn Fitness 3 times a week for their group class. It takes about an hour, 3 times a week.
Shout outs to Afterburn.
Shout outs to Afterburn, and a huge shout out to my original coach, Vicky, at Port City Fitness, which is sadly no more. But she really was a giant inspiration to me. Pre-pandemic, I had gone through another weight loss. I'd lost over 60 pounds and had been really consistent for over 3 years. And then pandemic hit, and I still was really consistent and still did what I was supposed to at home. And then I sprained my knee, and then things went off the rails.
Yeah, that kind of puts a little damper in it, eh?
Yeah, but no, the gym stuff is great. So for me, protein is really important and limiting those carbs, but not in an extreme way. Like, I'm not a person who's going to... I hate counting calories. I hate writing down what I eat. And I know that that's a thing that causes a lot of success for people, but it's just not for me. I'm too busy.
Yeah, counting calories. I do the counting calories, kind of. I have an app that I kind of put in, here's what I ate today, and it kind of gives me, and then it fits with my fitness app, so it tells me, like, here's how many calories you burned, and here's how many you get to eat.
Yeah, and I've done that. I've used my Fitness Pal for that, and, like, and I have tracked, and every so often I'll check in for a couple days just to make sure that, my standard eating practices are aligning with where I am going, but as a general rule, it's not something I want to do every day. I want to eat, move, live. End story. It sounds like one of those
Eat,
posts.
live, move,
Yeah, like
end story.
live, laugh, love.
Eat, live, move.
Eat, live, move.
Perfect. I like it. Eat, live, move. That should be our tagline. Eat, live, move.
Yeah, exactly.
So, besides your fitness journey, what have you been up to in your life? I know we haven't talked in a long time since I've been traveling.
Well, a couple things. I play trombone in 4 different bands, so I've been doing a lot of that. And what's really exciting, I'm playing trombone in a Tom Waits tribute in Fredericton in April with some friends from Woodstock, where I lived for a few years when I was in my 20s. And I'm super pumped about that. We had a rehearsal for it last weekend, and it's going to sound great. We're doing 3 songs, and I'm super pumped about the whole event. And the fact that I got asked to play trombone and something cool always makes me happy. And
Shout out to all you band nerds.
Hey,
It
friends.
can get better.
No, it's always good. And I had a great conversation with my friend Amy in Woodstock, who's a brilliant musician. She's a piano player, singer, songwriter. She's just incredible. And I was talking about how I feel like my trombone playing is better now than it's ever been. And she's like, yeah, that's the great thing about music as opposed to sports and other things, is that you can only get better as time goes on. As you age and mature, you're just playing as you continue to practice, you can get better. Unlike being, derailed by a knee injury if you're a pro football player. Not that I'm comparing my trombone playing to an NFL football player, because I'm not that good.
No, that's true. Yeah, I mean, playing an instrument, yeah, it literally is a lifelong thing that you don't really have to worry about most injuries unless you're doing like some crazy, like, I don't know, stand-up drum thing or something.
Yeah. What about you? What's your life been like?
Crazy busy. I've been traveling, like we talked about earlier, before we started really recording. I went to New York. That was fun. I went for work, but I was basically running a 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. do whatever I could in New York, which was super fun. And then I was home for like a short, 5 days. And then I flew off to Utah, which beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go to Utah, beautiful. Kind of a more boring place than New York City. I really like the atmosphere in New York City, but.
Did you find any other wives while you were in Utah, or was that in poor taste?
No, I don't think I got any other wives. I mean, I was told I wasn't allowed to by my wife.
That's fair.
And then also my aunt told me that apparently legally in Canada you can only have one wife. So
well, that's the rule also in the U.S.
Is it everywhere in the U.S.? I thought Utah there was like
pockets
weird.
Of
there was
lawlessness.
States have some weird. Shout out to the community. Tell me the community. Listen, tell me if I'm allowed in Utah to have a wife, but nowhere else. I just need.
I mean, you already have one wife. You're talking about additional wives.
I can't deal with an additional wife.
Yeah, your wife is already pretty amazing.
I cannot. But yeah, no, New York was super fun. I jumped on the Staten Island ferry, which was super cool.
I did that when I was in New York too.
It was like night, so you could see the Statue of Liberty and the New York skyline at night. That was super cool. I went out to the Bronx.
Cool.
On the train and took the subway for the first time in my entire life down to Staten Island ferry.
Yeah.
Touched the bull.
I did that too when I was there.
Nice.
Right on the balls.
Yes. Oh, well, yes. That's how you get money. Right?
Yeah, it hasn't worked for me yet.
Well, I mean, you're still alive. You have time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that. New York was super fun. Then Utah, I did Salt Lake. Well, I was in a town called Orem, Provo. And then I spent a day in Salt Lake City, / most of night in Salt Lake City.
Cool.
Definitely public transit in Utah, down with that. Like they have this cool train that went from Salt Lake City all the way down to Orem. And then in Orem, they have this cool bus. They call it the UVX. It's like the university bus. And it goes from one train station in Orem all the way through like the center of Orem, through the center of Provo, which is like the second town down, to the station in Provo.
Cool.
And it's free.
Oh, that's wicked.
Hell yeah. Shoutouts to the UVX. That was amazing. I was like, hell yeah, jump on, go. It was great. Especially for someone like me who's not from around there and I'm really just trying to stay in the central space anyway. There were definitely paid buses that kind of spired off from that, but yeah, it was
That's
really
amazing.
Cool. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Utah was super fun, but not as fun as New York.
No, New York is such a special city. I was just telling you before we started recording that I went there myself, by myself in fall 2019, and best trip I've ever done, hands down. I'd driven to Portland, Maine, and then I took the Amtrak. But so the first leg of the trip was via bus from Portland to Boston, and then from Boston to New York on the train. And walking off the train into Grand Central Station, when my only previous experience with New York was television and movies, I was like, this is the best place on earth. Nothing bad can ever happen to me here.
Yeah, Grand Central Station is pretty beautiful. Unfortunately, I didn't do the walk up from the train. I came in to Grand Central Station because I made a bunch of people that were with me like walk 1 billion miles. And then we walked into Grand Central Station, which was really cool. But yeah, no, that was really cool too.
It was really cool. And then I'm such a nerd and stereotypical girl that I walked in. I was like, am I gonna walk into my own rom-com here? Hello, I'm single. Help me find someone.
Is this a Hallmark movie?
Is this a Hallmark movie? Yeah, and I am a reporter, or was a reporter, so I do fit the profile of a Hallmark movie casting.
Right. From a small town.
From a small town in New York City, working journalist.
I think that why did your rom-com not happen?
Well, I think it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. As Taylor, my girl Taylor so says. Hi.
Yes. Listen here, we are all the problem.
Because the other part other than playing the trombone in 4 bands, I'm also hot on the online dating scene, and it's rough out there.
Thank God I'm married.
Yeah, never leave Andrea. It's not worth it.
No, I have like yourself. I have other friends that are also on the online dating scene, and it sounds just miserable.
It's like you think you meet somebody nice, and maybe I have. Maybe it'll all work out. We'll see. But mostly it's like, oh, just don't send me a dick pic.
Yeah. Don't do that, boys.
Unless it's solicited, which is rarely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even then, make it pretty.
You can't.
I mean, there are ways.
Dress it
up, put a hat on it.
Well, this is fun. Maybe we should wrap this episode up.
Oh my goodness, yeah. We're almost at our 30-minute mark.
I mean, we've entered the realm of dick pics, so it's probably time to end.
Yeah. We aren't monetized on YouTube yet, but we would like to be monetized on YouTube at some point.
Ever.
That would be nice. But let's wrap it up. So before we wrap it up, tell me, where can folks find you on the intranet?
Well, you can find this podcast. You can look us up at what is it called?
Welcome to episode 1. Kate and Isaiah Living Large.
Yeah, is it Living Large with Kate and Isaiah, or is it Kate and Isaiah Living Large? I can't remember.
Oh my goodness. It's Kate and Isaiah Living Large.
We'll see the link. It'll be attached when we'll do things, so you know what that is. And then personally, I'm on Twitter at the Caitlin Dean and on TikTok at Fat Caitlin.
Awesome.
And what about you, Isaiah?
I am all over the intranet. I at Maritime Brews, pretty much on all of the social medias, except Snapchat. I don't do the Snapchat stuff.
That's only a place for dick pics.
That is only truth. So you can find me at Maritime Brews on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, where else? YouTube, and whatever other social medias I could grab that name on. I grabbed a whole bunch of names on that.
Awesome. Yeah. I just remember that my family will probably listen to this. Nobody's ever sent me a dick pic ever.
Lies.
Ever. It's gross.
And with that note, I feel like it is time to wrap this up.
Thanks so much for watching and listening.
Thanks, guys. And hope you watch the next episode. Hope we didn't scare anyone away. And goodbye.